Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, and welcome back to my Starfield playthrough. We're picking up where we left off last episode, right here on Mars. So I think for today's episode, we're gonna head back to New Atlantis and do the next stage of the Vanguard quest, and then depending on how that plays out time-wise, we'll see from there if we're gonna head to do the next or one of the other constellation missions that we currently have. I also want to check the ship technician here and see what kind of parts they have in Sidonia, because I can't remember. And we're also going to check at New Atlantis, because I really need to start upgrading the size of the ship a little bit.
What can I do for you? Okay, no problem.
I have not played around with this nearly as much as the Xbox. Okay, so they do have Nova Galactic parts. So let me see the variants. Use the key or the arrow keys. Okay. So I think I definitely want to have a workshop. Let's see what else here. Let's do a science lab. And I think we'll do the captain's quarters, because I think the Nova Galactic captain's quarters actually gives you a little bit of storage space. Obviously, we could also just build chests in there now, but we might as well add a captain's cabin too. So now we just got to play around with this a little bit here to make everything fit and figure out how I want to lay the ship out. It would be cool, I think, if I can reuse, or like if I can get away with adding as few new parts as possible, but somehow still make this like work. Alright, let's see what they have for structural parts that we might be able to make work with these huge gaps we have in the front right here. We could almost make that work if there's something that could go behind it that would be like a little bit wider. Oh, look, that's actually perfect right there. Alright, and we just need to flip this. Alright. Now let's try to upgrade some of the actual equipment here. So our current reactor, Class A, 14 power generation. Alright, reactors. So that's a Class A that does 16. Class A that does 18. We're just going to pop that right in the same spot. This one gets deleted. Alright, and then our grab drive is Class A, 8 max power, 13 grab jump thrust. Alright. Let's see. Those are the regular engines. No, we need grab drive. Grab drive. There we go. So, I already forgot what I said. Let me see here. 8 and 13. Okay. 8, 13. Wow, that's also... Oh, because that's the Vanguard one. I think that's probably our best bet at the moment. Nice. All right. And then we probably want to add some more engines. Like a little bit, maybe. Let's see. Trying to figure out what's gonna fit the best. We'll probably do... There's one of these, I think, that's like a... Maybe this one. Oh, you can't mount it on top of that. Can you do this? Does that look silly? I feel like that sticks up weird, actually. Let's just do some undos there. Which I can't remember how to do on here. No, not exit. I don't want to just delete that because I think we'll end up losing money. Do they not have an undo button on here anymore? Or am I just missing it? Wow. Alright. You know what, though? Those are mounted down there. Still looks kind of crazy, but whatever. It got us a little extra engine. So now we're going to do... It says we're nominal, too, so we don't even have any warnings to worry about. Now we can move on. Actually, I think I just remembered. We still have to go all the way back over to the mine to get Percival. So, guess we're doing that first.
Wonder isn't limited to planets with native life forms. I hope we have time to get...
Alright. Now I think we gotta go deeper into this place yet. Somewhere over here. No, that's the wrong gun. I want this one.
Everything in the settled systems depends on mines like these. Oh, wow. This is the old way. Look at this. It's a huge drill. No lasers.
That actually creeped me out more that the heat leech didn't come out of that thing, because there's definitely one in there and it I thought was gonna come out. Not a high enough level with the lockpicking yet, unfortunately. I can't believe I haven't picked up a shotgun yet. I haven't, though. Ah, we're gonna go for it.
This must be the place. Looks like there's a light in the door, too. How charming.
I love the low gravity planets.
So you must be the one who got me out of the red with the Trade Authority. Can't say I don't appreciate it, but I doubt you came all this way just to do me a favor. Now you want to explain to me why you're going around harassing nefarious old men by wiping away their hard-earned debts? Adrian sent you. Did she look okay? A Terrormorph? She's fortunate to be alive at all. Hope you two had plenty of backup. So what's this she had you bring all the way down here after putting you in harm's way?
Oh my gosh. I have to
Terrormorph
pick
attack,
that one.
huh? Not exactly sure why you'd be bringing that... Wait, Tau Gourmet? Like Tau Ceti Tau Gourmet? That's a joke, right? There's no settlement old enough on Tau Ceti to have a Terrormorph. Either someone's setting up the worst petting zoo in the universe, or if she made you come all the way for this. Let's get inside. I need to see these cells.
Sometimes the glare from the flashlight is too much.
Anything this secluded and purposed exclusively by the military is no doubt used for some top-secret nonsense.
Gonna ask you to not touch anything. Got some
Too
projects
late.
in the works down here. I wasn't expecting guests.
I may have already taken a couple things.
Oh, and Lou mentioned how you took care of the debt. Can't say I'm thrilled the Trade Authority got their mitts on the research, but I guess that's the price you pay not to live in a cave the rest of your days. All queued up. Let's gaze into this abyss, shall we? All right, just get those cellular markers tagged. Wait, where are the markers? This can't be right. This sample, it's Londinian. I'll need to get this all on the slate. Adrian really gave you this sample. You're not lying to me? Because if you told me this was a hoax, and it'd be the best damn fake I've ever seen, I'd be mad and very, very relieved. Can't just humor an old man, huh? This sample, it's got all the indicators of the worst Terrormorph attack in human history. I presume you've heard of Londinian. It was a city wiped completely off the map by Terrormorphs. The swarms are so bad, they had to blow the spaceport and seal the place off from the galaxy at large. Not a lot of samples made it off the world from the time of the attack, but the ones that did, well, they look just like this one. I didn't detect any of the telltale signatures this specimen ever sat on a ship while it was alive, either. I don't think it was transported to Tau Ceti. This specimen, it grew there, faster than any Terrormorph should. Which means If we're about to start a new era in human terrormorph relations, where big, sudden Londinian-style attacks can happen outside Londinian, that's not gonna end well for humanity.
Humanity has survived a lot, but this could be a bottleneck event for our species if we survive. And the devastation to society, to knowledge, it would reduce civilization to shambles.
So, you lugged this bad omen all the way here. You want to tell me what your plans are for it now? The circle, huh? Could use a drink about now. Here, faster we take the lift to the surface. Not supposed to use it, but given the circumstances, I'm inclined to just ask forgiveness. Let's get going.
Alright, so we just gotta go up here, I think, to get to the elevator. See, I find it interesting, the whole Londinian thing, like, destroying the spaceport. Because I'm not sure why they even bought that story, because how does that even make sense? Like, the Terrormorphs can't fly the ships. So unless they knew the origin of the Terrormorphs, how would they even think that destroying the spaceport made sense? I don't know.
I respect the folks in the military individually, but being surrounded by them can be more stressful than being on a planet with no magnetosphere and a worn-out spacesuit.
I mean, I suppose maybe you could say not everybody's always looking for a conspiracy, so they just didn't ask questions about it too.
Used to think I was Vanguard material, until I discovered that space travel turns my stomach in knots.
Well, now they've only had 2 hours since an incident. That's no good.
Is that really her?
This unit is not designed for pleasant conversation.
Percival. My God, look at you. You're an old man now.
You're no hassling yourself anymore, Major. Our friend here showed me your sample. Suffice it to say...
Not here. Let's talk somewhere more private. Lou said we could use the back.
Once I was in a glacial cave surrounded by creepy red eyes, kind of like this. But it turns out they were just glowing bug butts.
Oh my gosh.
Lou gave me the abridged version of what went down. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for taking care of all that.
Makes 2 of us.
I hope it ultimately didn't end up being too much trouble. That's certainly not what I was expecting you'd have to go through. But thank you. I'm just glad you both came through intact. So, were you two able to get that workup together?
Got it right here. That sample? It's an exact match for the ones from Londinian.
Londinian. That's exactly what I was afraid of.
Not thrilled to be the bearer of that kind of news. That's for damn sure. So tell me you've got some kind of plan for that workup.
Well, right now, we've got more questions than answers. So I've been trying to figure out what it's gonna take to access our old Terrormorph data.
Good place to start. What'd you find?
It's in the archives.
The Armistice Archives? Doesn't that mean we'd be dealing with the Cabinet? And the Freestar Collective? And House Varun somehow? Guess we can kiss that approach goodbye.
I didn't think the cabinet would be willing to hear us out either. But I called in some favors. They've agreed to hear us out on 2 conditions. 1, they want to see this analysis you two have procured. And 2, they want to discuss what happened on Tau Ceti. With both of us. Well, that's about the best news I've had all day. But before you commit, I want to make sure you know the whole story. Percival and I, we're not just researchers. We were military scientists, ran a division of the UC together that deployed aliens on the battlefield as weapons.
Place I was hiding out. That was our unit's home base.
After some early fits and starts at other facilities, the place eventually became the heart of UC xeno-warfare. A practice that's been banned ever since the armistice went into effect almost 20 years ago. And the UC military cut us loose for what we'd done. Oh, well, that means a lot. It's not something I'm exactly proud of. But it was during that assignment that the UC asked us to explore deploying Terrormorphs on the battlefield. The project never got off the ground, but the data our team gathered is now sitting in the archives, along with all the other information banned after the Colony War. Under the watchful eye of monitors from all the galactic factions still participating in regular politics. But if we can convince the cabinet to help us access that data, it'll give us the tools we need to decipher what exactly this sample might mean. And hopefully, how to prevent more attacks like the one that spawned it. All right. I'm gonna go get this work up into the cabinet's hands. I'll meet you out front of Mast in New Atlantis.
Good luck. You two are gonna need it.
Sorry. Was lost in a memory for a moment there. How can I help?
Oh, we have a level up to spend. Look at that. Yeah, I remember the story of the whole Xeno weapon projects because obviously I read through all that lore in the first mission before. And that all is pretty much about that. I don't know what we need to unlock this time. I can upgrade my piloting though, or my ballistic weapons. Let's do piloting. Get us one step closer to being able to do B and C class ships.
The UC Exchange is a great place to buy your weapons. Just make sure to keep them.
A surprise Terrormorph attack every.
Alright, now we gotta go back to the ship, and then we're gonna need to take a peek at our inventory, make sure that I've got space for any loot that we pick up. We're also bringing our weapons and everything with us because I know that this meeting's not gonna just be a nice meeting.
Greetings, Captain.
All right. And the ship's got an exciting
as we
new...
left it, right?
No, it's
Right.
actually completely different because we remodeled the ship. Haha. Nice. All right. I have to do some inventory management, and then we'll head out and start making our way to New Atlantis. All right, that was an insane amount of inventory management, but now we can finally head back to New Atlantis.
Ship's ready. Steady start. Pumping retros. Orbit achieved. Stabilizing. Done.
Alright, so we get to redo this here. Like, we have 4 extra bars to spend on our power. And I think we're going to typically leave them in the engine to give us, like, the maximum speed and maneuverability. At some point, hopefully, we'll have enough to, like, start putting more into our weapons as well.
And complete. Enjoy your stay in New Atlantis.
Alright, we're going to the Mass District.
Exploring the galaxy is hard work. Trust me, I know. Stop by sometime. Just us adventurers.
Look, we will have that conversation after we do the meeting with the cabinet.
Captain! Over here! The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus, woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin, a title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come. I'm getting there. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death, on both sides. Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned. I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or, if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here.
Statements like that in Bethesda games are always a warning that things are not about to go as straightforward as you think.
Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Sounds like our cue. Here we go.
Sorry, Hadrian, you're taking too long. I'll just have to meet you up there. Oh.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terrormorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor. That is something to consider. Though we also have to take into account the nature of the data you require.
Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, Terrormorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic, and at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask how many deaths the cabinet requires to act. 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt, the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties. Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this Terrormorph seem at all alarming to you?
That is worth considering. This attack took place on an almost completely uninhabited world. The casualties were minimal as a result. But if there's another attack, will we be so lucky?
Yes, a fine point, Admiral. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
It's interesting because it's just like, from what I know at this point in the story, yeah, it's just a Terrormorph attack, but like, we know we need the information. Do you know what I mean? In their position, I would probably say no, I don't have enough information yet. But seeing as we need the information, I'm going to be biased and just pick this answer.
It's a risk, but so is doing nothing.
I'm inclined to agree.
As am I.
I suppose that does get to the heart of the point, doesn't it? Very well. I consent. The galaxy was lucky you were here today, Captain.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to... What was that?
Got a moment? Let's catch up.
Really, Barrett? The timing, really.
Incident. Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terrormorphs.
Terrormorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming, and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
Already halfway there. Oh, the elevator was like, no. Busy.
You! The EM rifle,
That's freaky. I really don't like that, I gotta be honest.
That's it! Stop! Now hit him with everything
We're
we've
trying
got!
to help you!
Oh, I got you. Watch it.
Thank you for what you did. We didn't want to hurt them.
The way those people were acting, I've seen this before. They were under the Terrormorphs' influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection. Some Terrormorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready. Let's do it.
Nat's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
I'm not going to be using the EM rifle because we're just going to focus on taking out the Terrormorphs instead of having to switch to that every time we have to fight a person.
My God, no time to waste, Captain! Boots in the dirt!
An evacuation order has been issued for the spaceport district. All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest shelter.
I really hope that security guard's not shooting at me because I accidentally hit him.
Closer. Closer. Closer now.
Okay, he must have just been under its control, thankfully.
Wait, officer? Are you and this woman experts? Take whatever we can get right now. We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, one for our team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
I think it's actually better if we do not take the fire team with us, just because it's just more people for the Terrormorphs to take control of.
They're going to eat you alive.
Surrounded. All around. No way out.
Fair game.
Terrormorphs, man.
Hey, when you're not busy?
Barrett, dude, we're in a situation.
Stand still. I'm going to wear your skin.
That's the best you've done!
Stop! Stop! Don't shoot! We're friendly!
Target down. Nice work, Captain.
I don't want to even think about what would have happened had we failed.
Nah, we didn't even get close to failing. Luckily, they were only level 6 Terrormorphs and not, you know, higher level ones.
I guess they weren't kidding about you two. Universe put the right people in the right place.
Like hell it is. I don't want to think what would have happened if you two hadn't been here.
Just glad we could rise to the occasion. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the Terrormorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Alright, back to mast we go then.
Whole building's on lockdown.
That's a relief to hear. Thank you, gentlemen. Let your people all know how much we owe them today.
Yes, ma'am.
Losing anyone in the line
there
of
you
duty
are.
is a tragedy.
I believe
These
we have
attacks,
some things we should
they
discuss.
can't happen again.
Those creatures killed UC citizens. They're not killing
Captain?
anymore.
Hadrian, it would appear that the Cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today, as well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terrormorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the Cabinet. You will have our full support in collecting the Terrormorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy are facing right now. The Cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that representative. We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us? I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. You're dismissed.
My officers were unprepared for what happened at
I'm
the
gonna go check in
spaceport.
with Chief Engineer Kulkarni. Start getting
We're
a
on the
plan
cutting edge
together
of
for that
technology
data.
here. It's an exciting place to be.
Alright, well, that was quite an ordeal. Let's talk to her.
Vanguard Captain. You... Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require.
Don't judge me, you haven't even talked to me.
That must make you my Vanguard Captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the Cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terrormorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
Someone paid attention in current events. So, then you also know that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. the ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varun, to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't agree more.
That second one, though.
However, both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative.
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Varun?
Definitely gonna do the Freestar first, and then we'll worry about House Varun.
The good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable.
I bet she loves her job.
Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her.
Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support.
And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code.
Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze.
UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage.
What a great way to treat your allies.
Getting caught trespassing is a quick
I
way
guess
to
they're not
land
really
yourself in an
allies,
embassy
but,
holding cell.
So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen.
Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you.
All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up, you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise.
And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there.
Ambassador Balmore's a challenge. When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmore stayed here. He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again. Though claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval. It does, but there's a concern. We're not 100% sure Balmore's actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting.
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice. I have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there.
Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask. I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff's mind. Be smart out there, Captain.
We'll definitely be starting there. I'm just not sure if we'll end up starting our next episode with that or with doing the next, or one of the constellation quests, we probably will do that. Maybe head up to the Eye and talk to Vladimir. But for this episode, that's where we're going to leave it. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next episode.